because I'm always talking with affiliates on what we can do better, how we can help. And I'd ask you, and it created a great dialogue on your part. I'd ask you, what can we do better, or what can we do different? And you kind of went back to the beginning of when you first started changing gears a little bit with supplements, and you started pointing out some of the mistakes that you made. I'm hoping that we can kind of dive into those a little bit. What mistakes did you make after the first initial push, and then how can we focus on those things during the retail, and anything else that I'm missing?
Yeah, so I think the one thing that we did that I wish, that we made better now, but we did in the beginning, is we started strong and then didn't stay consistent with marketing of supplements and changing initiatives and spicing things up. It was just, all right, guys, we have supplements, and then it was great, and then it kind of just peaked, and then it valleyed. And really, I think due to our just focus on this being a revenue stream for us and really applying time and effort to it just as much as we would getting new members. I think people overlook, not people, I think I did for a big period of time, is just that, selling an extra 30 or 40, jugs of protein a month is a game changer in your business for most people. And I think what we do is we put it up there and we hope that everybody is going to just get interested because it's up on a shelf. But in reality, it takes constant education, a constant system. And also too, with new people that come in, if they miss that initial sampling or beginning, they have no idea what all this stuff is. And so I was really disappointed in us, or in me at first, where it was like, man, we did this, we took this on, and we did a crappy job. And so we put a bunch of new things in place, and I've talked to a bunch of different other gym owners about this, and I think I've come down to some good key things that we're going to start doing, or have been doing, and are going to continue to do.
Cool. And that's, it's not just, it falls back on me too. So if I can help people, like if I could go back in time and in 6 months say, okay, Angelo, here's the mistakes that you'll probably make, because a lot of people do, and we can preemptively kind of have that talk, that'll help. That's something I can do a better job at. So not only for everybody that's listening to this, but future people that are onboarding, I'm hoping that, like, where are the holes? Like you said, you're spicing things up. What are you doing?
So first thing that we're doing that we're really big fan of is our front desk person, Susie, is doing monthly samples and tastings with all different classes. So it's not just the nighttime. Sometimes she comes in the morning, she'll come in the afternoon. But what she does to build up any sort of momentum or excitement about it is in our private Facebook group, she's doing a poll, and they're voting on what flavors they would like to sample more than other flavors. And so instead of just us putting it out there and going, all right, this is the flavor that you have, is now that there's a poll for everybody coming to class. So she's setting it up. We have something in Chicago called Cooper's Hawk. I don't know if you guys have that, but Cooper's Hawk makes their own wine. And what you do is you go there and you get flights of wine and do wine tastings. And so we're trying to make it where you come and do a protein tasting based off like the ones that you want. And it makes it a lot more fun. And she's up there just shaking the protein and doing that.
Very cool. And what's fun is even the ones that get downvoted, like, by making it part of your community and kind of gelling the members in with the coaches and having them be part of that decision process. I'll be curious to see if they start engaging other members, like, hey, I'm pissed because my flavor didn't get voted up last time, so help me out. So they kind of start recruiting people in. So that may be kind of fun to watch. Be an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, and also too, they're not taken by surprise that she's here. Right. So they're already putting that 5 extra minutes after class into their day, instead of just like, oh, I have to leave. No, they knew that she was coming. She's going to be there. And if anybody orders protein that day or buys what we have in stock that day, we give them a free shaker bottle. It's just a little perk that, okay, cool, you want to buy it now? Great, you get this, and there you go.
Right, you just a little bit of margin, and then you've got a walking billboard every time somebody takes a sip.
Yeah, for sure. And the shaker bottles have our logos on them. Why wouldn't we want people out there drinking?
Right.
It's all a win. So that's definitely something that's helped greatly. The next thing is as part of our onboarding, every day there's different education. And on day 3 of our onboarding, it's a full supplement briefing, tasting, we go over supplements, and we also give samples that day to the person to get them understand it. We do the tasting right where we sell supplements. We show them how they could buy them, and we walk them through this, and not in a very aggressive manner, but more just an informational manner. Like, hey, you've probably walked past the lobby every time you walked in here and saw this big shelf of stuff and probably wondered what it is. We go over why we carry Driven and why we don't carry other products, and what happens to a lot of uneducated consumers when they go to like GNC or things like that. They wind up walking out with a card and a bunch of tub of stuff that they don't understand. And so we make it more of a prescriptive sense, and people really seem to like that. And it just builds that habit early on in their journey, so they're not thinking about it later. It's already a part of their game.
Oh, and that ties into what you said earlier of, the people, let's say 6 months ago, you get started and you start blasting out, hey, we're doing these supplements, and you're promoting it everywhere. I mean, you covered it perfect. Like the people who signed up between now and a week after that, they've seen these people drinking shakes, and they don't, I mean, that ties so nice into your onboarding. Now they're preemptively told, like, this is what you're going to see around the gym. This is why people are taking it. And having that prescriptive model, I've been having that talk a lot with affiliates. Like, they get frustrated because members go to a local retailer or online and they buy whatever somebody says, like, hey, buy this. But they can't really get pissed if their members are buying the wrong thing, because there's a void of information. So in that vacuum, a member is going to read about marketing, or their best friend's going to tell them about this whatever new diet or this new product that's the latest and greatest. You guys know what their life cycle is going to be, so you can introduce a product when it's needed or when you feel it can benefit the athlete. So not understanding that and being intentional with it, like, people can't get pissed when their members are buying the wrong thing if the owners and the coaches aren't telling people, like, here's what we feel you should take. And if it's not Driven, if it's something else, like, fill that void, start educating your members so they are buying the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's up to us to educate them on how to do push-ups. It's up to us to educate how they eat, and it's up to us to educate how they supplement. It's just our job.
Right. Is there, other than, I mean, you're killing it doing the poll inside the group. That's great for engagement. That's one of the things that I posted up in here yesterday was, since Facebook's been changing their algorithms, that's such a good hack, because what Facebook is leaning into is dialogue, whether it's from a brand to a customer or a group to a customer or a member. So anything that you can post up posting up just the workout of the day isn't any dialogue. I mean, do something to ask a question, and then once they do that, I mean, just by doing these Facebook Lives, a lot more people are going to see the post I made earlier today, because we're putting in the work. So, man, I mean, that's just such a simple hack of something you can do once a month or once a week or whenever, how often. So how often are you doing that?
We do 2 a month with the morning crew and 2 a month with the evening crew.
Awesome.
And we've kind of got a little geeky about it, is we've nailed down the best times people are buying it. So for us, it's between 5 and 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So we make sure that is when we're out there and we have somebody present to do this more than other times. It just seems to be we at that hours have the best foot traffic. And then also the people that buy the most for us. So definitely there. And then now we're focusing a lot more on the early classes, because early on we kind of neglected that, because it's not, the most fun job to wake up at 5 o'clock to do supplement tastings, but we're starting definitely to get better on focusing on our morning crew as well. And I took this from Brian Alexander, and I'm trying to just tweak it a little bit, is Brian does the pre-order. I think I don't know personally about everybody, but I know he does it one of the best that I've seen. And so one thing that we're going to try to move through with the open, and I have a few ideas to how to make this work, is we're going to make it where their supplements are all recurring.
Nice.
And I'm trying to figure out the proper incentive to do that for people, even if it means us giving like a shaker bottle or adding something that we could think of for them. And even if that means cutting a little bit on our margin, if I could get 40 people, 50 people recurring protein and supplement orders, I think that's going to be really game changing for us. So we're going to use the open and our excitement for the open to propel this new initiative into the Q2.
So let's change gears a little bit, because now we may be able to get tactical as far as what you're going to do and some things that we may be able to bring to the table. So the pre-sale, you're right. I mean, Brian Alexander has taught me a ton. So has Matt from Forever Fierce. I'm grateful for both of those guys. So what we did, and you guys have a copy of it. I don't know if it's been used at all, but from Brian Alexander's pre-order, we made a Google sheet that, or a Google form that has all of our products. The member can enter their information, their name, email address, and then it populates a sheet. So you can send the form to members, say, hey, fill this out. That's not something that we can do every 30 days, but for the people listening to this and watching this, they may not know that that's something that we can produce for you. So if you do want that Google form for the pre-sale sheet, just comment below and I'll make sure that we get a copy. It takes a little bit of time to go through and make it, but I'll make sure that you get a copy made for your gym. So like Angelo's is just called O'Hare CrossFit driven order, and he can share that link with any of his members as a way to drive up pre-sale. So I don't want to go back and assume that an old idea is a good one. So how are you going to do that with the pre-sale?
All right. So first, what we're doing is with our open this year, every person that signs up is going to be drafted to a team. And each coach, each of our staff is going to manage the team, sort of be like your sponsor throughout the open.
Nice.
Okay. And so each week, on Saturdays we do the open, but on Thursday nights and Friday nights, or Fridays during the day, it's up to the sponsor's job to interact with them, help them get ready to do that. So one of the things that all of us are going to do is make supplement recommendations for people to help with soreness, to help with recovery, and help them understand that for a lot of people too, especially with this open, they work out a lot, but I don't think they work out with the same energy and intensity that you do for an open workout. So we're going to use that to kind of segue into supplements. And so it's going to be a recommendation from your coach to help with that. Also too, it is prescribed by me that all of our staff take these supplements, and they do their absolute best to make sure that people see that, and not through O'Hare CrossFit social media or anything, through their own personal stuff. It means a lot more when my wife posts a shaker bottle of hers with Driven on her personal page than doing it through OCF. Just makes it more authentic, more real, just makes it like this is just a part of her day and not something that maybe we're trying to push. And so all the coaches are going to be on top of doing that. And then last but not least, it's so fortunate that we have Becca to do our nutrition with us. And so she's going to start putting out content about open nutrition and how to fuel yourself properly for these workouts and things like that. And so we're going to put all three of those together into there and really use that as a way to really generate all this stuff. 1 or 2 of the Saturdays, we're going to have samplings for everybody to taste and things like that. So we're hoping that that's all going to come together to really create this bigger burst into that pre-order and, the recurring.
Cool. Well, we may have to jam after we get done talking, so we can recircle back and talk about that pre-sale sheet. That form may be something that you guys can just absolutely dominate with. So something that may help also that we did last year was top 5 supplements for the open. We didn't actually post the article. What we can do, and I may need to send this out for everybody, but really all it is just an easy to digest blog post. Top 5 supplements if you're doing the open. So that's an article that we sent out to affiliates. They posted up, and then that way they could use their blog to talk about it. So it's not us posting it and then you guys sharing it. It's actually content that you can put on your blog, push to Facebook, push to Instagram, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, but what happened last time we saw it created a lot of dialogue from the members back to the coaches. And back.
I'm just writing it down. Sorry if I move my eyes.
No, it's like I tell you, the measure of one man's intelligence is how much he agrees with you. So I'm sitting here taking notes with your stuff. So that ties into like having you guys coach or having you guys post up about it. When I see your wife post about it, not only is it genuine, but it creates dialogue from them to Rocio. Like, hey, is that how you pronounce her name?
Yep.
Okay.
It is. Rocio.
It goes back, it creates dialogue from them, and they'll come up. I mean, like, when she's stretching, like, hey, I saw you post up. Tell me about that. So not only creates a cool psychological effect of like, hey, tell me about this, but also what happens is the members start doing it. Like, You guys wear CrossFit shoes, so eventually they wear CrossFit shoes. You guys buy supplements, eventually they do the same. You guys post about it, eventually they do the same. So what happens is that you take that in it, and it's a multiplier. It's not just for CEO or you posting about it, but your members see it and they're like, oh, so this is just what we do. And then they're posting about taking their pre-WOD, they're taking selfies, and then before long, we repost it. And I mean, we love doing stuff like that. We get tagged up quite a bit. And if I could talk Brenton into it, Brenton, I know you're listening. I mean, I would love just a pound a week of nothing more than people's posts, because it's such a beautiful way to go and high five your guys' members who are through you building our brand.
Sure.
I dig on that. So those were the 2 points that I really caught from you. The other thing that I had that a lot of people are probably going to have a question about is how many teams or how many members per team per coach are you assigning?
So we have no idea at this point. So it's gonna work like this. If February 7th is the cutoff for registration for OCF, not from the entire open, but if people want to register and get like a t-shirt and be a part of this whole like team thing, don't get me wrong, we'll let some people sneak in if they're a little bit later. So right now it's going to look like there's going to be 10 to 15 people per coach. Yeah, per coach for the open this year. Right around that number. Yeah. So like for me, for my team, I'm going to create a private Facebook group for my team. Every Thursday night, I'm going to give tips. Every Friday, we're going to do like a practice run. And then Saturday, everybody's going to be here in the morning to do the workout. So we're really looking forward to a very interactive open experience with everybody, where it's not just them showing up, doing the workout, and that's the end of it, where they're going to get, kind of I tell everybody, like, we're your sponsor. Like, we're going to carry you through this open and make sure it's a great experience for you. And we could parlay that into doing everything with them, just, with the supplements and just overall their training.
Well, build such a camaraderie. I mean, them and the coach, man, that's awesome.
Yep.
Well done, dude.
Yeah, you know what? That totally was Becca's idea. I'm not taking any credit for it.
Yeah, she killed it. Congratulations, Becca. Good job.
Yeah, she thinks of these great ideas, and we're going to do that. But just really quick, back to what you said, because what we were talking about, the coaches posting and everything like that. I think we, even for me, we undervalue our influence with our community in any way. I think we're not so aware of it. So sometimes we could make influences, or we could do things that we're not that conscious of. But with our coaches and everybody doing this, it's a big deal for them that somebody sees their post. They enjoy that. They follow them. They're mini celebrities, and talking to the team about that really helped them understand that, because at first it didn't sit that well with them. So just, if you're a gym owner, I think letting your people know, and even yourself, if you're having a challenge with this, is that we really steer this ship, whether we like it or not. So we might as well make sure that we're steering it the way that we want it to go.
Right. Dig into that for just a second. Give the reasoning that some of the coaches weren't comfortable with it at first. Let's flesh that out.
Sure. So the first thing is the coaches didn't think it was a big deal. They didn't think it was a big deal. And I just really let them know that people follow them as much as they follow the gym, and follow their Instagram stories and their videos. And when they're posting lifts, they're motivated by them walking the walk with them.
Right.
So that was by far just helping them wrap their head around that. And the other thing too is sometimes, it could seem like, oh, this is like another thing to do, and doing all that stuff. And I just let the coaches know that, our job, as much as we would like it to be, we coach classes and we slide off our dinosaur like Fred Flintstone, it's really not like that. And we're done with the day. And so we, as a coach, we're an influencer, and we matter to these people, and they matter to us. And so doing a little extra things like that really go the extra mile with them. And that could be, as much as it is about supplements, it could be just about them doing something positive, recovery, a rest day, anything like that. So them doing it and showing it to people makes it more acceptable. And I just want them to understand it.
Very cool. Man, I think that covers it. This was great.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm grateful, man. Thank you.
No, I'm glad. I really hope that gyms take advantage of this supplements and understanding what it really makes a difference in their gym. Especially for for where we're at with the gym is we're not, for gyms that aren't poised to make huge growth anymore, or even this year, like, for us, 10%, it's a very mild number to compare what it used to be, right? When I was at 50 members, I was like, let's take it to 150 this year. But for us, it's 8 to 10% of growth. And then when you're looking at the business, so if you can't grow in width, you have to grow in depth. And supplements are one of the ways that we could grow in depth. And it's a very natural progression for people's journeys. As far as services or add-ons and things like that, what I love about it is if you look at what you could add on for somebody, personal training or nutrition coaching or anything like that, supplements are a perfect gap to get them to there because of the price point. So most nutrition services are $125 to $150 a month for personal training and all that stuff. If they're only doing one session a week, that's still around $200 to $250 a month. And that could be a lot to ask for a client in their journey. But to get somebody to go from 150 to 200 is a lot easier. That $50 is a lot easier for them to bite on than going from 150 to 350.
Right.
And so I think as a business owner and anybody that's listening to this, an affiliate owner, this is the strategy that you might be not putting enough energy into. And it's more about new members or this challenge or that challenge. But in reality, you get a third of your membership buying supplements every month. You're going to be great, and you're not going to have to worry about flooding, marketing and doing all this stuff. It's just going to be a natural flow for you.
Yeah, it's already there. And I guess the truth be told, if I ask everybody to raise their hands, hey Aaron, how are you, dude? So truth be told, if I ask everybody to raise their hands who owns a CrossFit gym, you said a third aren't buying supplements, but they're not buying supplements from you. More than likely, at a minimum, and I would stake probably a pretty good sized chunk of money on this, that at least a quarter of your members are buying some type of supplement. Mm-hmm. So like they're already buying it. So if you can convert those guys to where the percentage is higher to where they're buying from you, and then start doing a good job educating those guys and really, like you said, get intentional with it. They're buying supplements anyway. They're just buying it in a vacuum. And they may be buying the wrong things. So,
yeah. So that's something I know that I need to remind myself to keep putting energy in, and I highly doubt that I'm not the only one. So if there's anything, just as much as you're concentrated on that membership number and revenue and all, I mean, this is a driver of all those things.
Right. Awesome. I don't have anything else to add, Angelo. That covered everything, and I think we covered a lot in a short period of time. Anything else you want to say?
No, thank you for having me. If there's any questions from anybody, please feel free to message me via Facebook. I'm happy to check anything and help you guys with it. And if I could be a resource for you, Jason, or any of your clients, it's my pleasure.
All right. Sounds good. Well, everybody who joined us, thank you. I hope you get some value from this. Angelo, man, thank you. It's a pleasure to see you. It's way too long between the talks as well as being in person. So hopefully soon we can change that.
Absolutely, brother. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.